Okay, hi. So today's session is on syllogism. Syllogism is one of the most frequently asked questions in various competitive exams. To start with, I think it's important to know what syllogism basically is. So it is a unit of reasoning wherein you have to arrive at a specific conclusion based on a given set of premises. So based on the conclusions, you verify if the conclusions are valid or not. So you will maybe you're provided with 4 conclusions based on 2, 3, 4 or n number of statements, and you have to just verify if those conclusions are valid based on the given statements. I'll take up a example question, and based on which I'll tell you the different fundamentals on which syllogisms can be solved. So say here we have 4 statements. All dials are mirrors. All mirrors are spoons. Some spoons are decks. Some decks are chairs. So let's start with, say, all dials are mirrors. All mirrors are spoons. Okay, this is dials. Some spoons are decks, and some decks are chairs. Okay. So now let's look at the conclusions. Some decks are mirrors. Okay, so some decks are mirrors. So we can see that the 2 of them, they are not colliding. So we can straight away cancel this out. Okay. Some spoons are dials. Some spoons are dials. Okay, so this was spoons, and yes, you can see dials fall under the category of spoons. So yeah, this is valid. Some decks are dials. Some decks are dials. Okay, so dials are here, decks are here. We don't see them colliding. So yeah, there's no connection between the 2. So we can simply strike them out. Some chairs are spoons. Some chairs, we have chairs here, spoons are here. So yeah, again we'll cancel that out. So based on this, we can find that only this is the conclusion that is following. Okay. Okay, so based on this example, I'll be clearing the basic concepts of how you go about solving syllogisms. The very first concept, which is very easy, is all P's are Q's. So all, as it indicates, सारे P Q हैं. So here we can see that all P's are Q's. Similarly, we can see here all P's are Q's. Say if I say all boys are naughty, I can say all so I can say all so yeah, all boys are naughty, all boys slash naughty. Yeah, so I'm hoping this wasn't really tough. So we've seen here all boys are naughty, and here as well we can. So this is very simple. This is all P's are Q's. Okay, so the next concept is no P is Q. As the name indicates, no P is Q, meaning the set of P is very different from the set of Q. So no P's will be Q. Let's take an example. Say no chairs are black. So yeah, we can see there are two distinct sets of chairs which are not like of chairs and black. None of them collide. A slightly tricky but not difficult logic is all P's are Q's, only P's are Q's. So here as we see there are P's which are Q's, and here P's again. So only P's are Q's. This means that there is nothing other than Q that is a P. Okay, so say if I give you an example like only unmarried are bachelors. So one can be these are unmarried who are bachelors, or again. So yeah, not very difficult but slightly tricky. Okay, coming up to the next is some P is Q. So till now we've learned three basic logics. One was all P is Q, the other was no P is Q, and only P is Q. Now the fourth one is some P is Q. So let's come to the first one. Some P is Q, very evident from the first. So there are four different cases that can be drawn in this sort of question. Some P is Q, as we can see in the first case. Here we have this portion of P, and we can see that these P's are definitely falling under the category of Q. So yeah, some P is Q. Here again, if we reverse it, this portion of P is Q, so some P is Q. Here some P is Q is again valid here, as we can see that this portion of P is Q. It can be all also. Here again in this case 4, we see that this portion of P is Q. So yeah, so if I take an example like some pens are pencils. So one case could be so yeah, this is the case 1 where we can see some pens are pencils. This is case 2 where we'll see So here we've seen pencil is a subset, but pens is the superset. Okay, and again we can draw case 4, case 3, pens and pencils both in the same circle. This shall be your last case, wherein this common point of wherein this common point of intersection shall be some P is Q. Okay. Now I am coming on to the last topic, which is like last logic, which is some P is not Q. So yeah, there are 3 cases again. Some P is not Q. Some P we can see in this case no P is Q's. Okay, so it's very evident. Here again we'll see P is the superset, and this portion of P is not Q. So yeah, some P is not Q. Here in this figure 3, we can see this is P and this is Q. This portion of P is Q, the one marked red, but this portion which is blank is not Q. So some P is not Q. Let us take an example. Monitors are easy, not easy. Monitors not easy. Some monitors. So this is the portion of monitors that is easy. So this remaining portion, this here, some monitors are not easy. Okay. Okay, so let's take up some few questions to see how far we've come with the topic of syllogism. Okay, before that, let's just have a recap of what we've what we've learned till now. Venn diagram is the most fundamental and accurate method of solving syllogisms. So yeah, it's possible that as you practice, you may come up, you will be solving syllogisms without drawing Venn diagrams. But to be very accurate, to be thorough, and not commit errors, a Venn diagram is the most reliable method of solving syllogisms. Okay, so your basic funda is to see that you're able to come to the conclusion, to verify if that conclusion is valid based on the given premises. So if you get a conclusion which does not follow, like even in all of the given cases, if the conclusion does not follow in even one single case, the conclusion does not follow. Okay, the conditional statements have to be true. Yes, so you have to assume the given statements to be true and forego all the facts that you've known before. You have to take the given statements to be true. Okay, if all the conditional statements are positive, then the conclusions cannot be negative, and vice versa. Okay, so if the given statements are positive, the conclusions cannot be negative, and if the given conclusions are negative, the conclusions can never be positive. Okay, one last very important thing, we can move from a universal to a specific conclusion, but not the vice versa. Okay, so you can say that if something that if um oh, this is the most important. Okay, so you can say if all, so this means that if you say if all girls are pretty, then by default it would mean that this would imply that some girls are pretty. This means that we are moving from a universal statement all to some, okay, to a specific conclusion, but you cannot move from some to all. Okay, I'm taking a few questions now to see how clear we are. Some houses are forest, all forests are trees, some trees are hills, all hills are buses. Okay, so let's just see how all houses. Okay, no, we have some houses, some houses are some houses are forests, all forests are trees. Okay, some trees are hills. Okay, this was house, this is hills. And all hills are buses. Now let's take it. This is all based on what we've seen in the previous 5 sequences that I've shown you. Okay, and some buses are trees, so we see some buses are trees. Yes, some buses are trees. You can see conclusion 1 is valid. Uh, some buses are houses. Some buses are houses. Okay, so this is buses. Some buses are houses. No. House, we have houses here, buses are here, so this does not follow. Some hills are houses. Um, some hills are houses. Again, this is not following because we have houses here, hills are here. Some buses are forests. Some buses are forests. No, they do not meet. So yeah, so we can see only conclusion 1 follows. Okay. Let's take up question 2. Okay. We have some lakes are rivers, some rivers are mountains, some mountains are books, some books are papers. There are different ways how we can draw these. Let's take the most easiest one. Some lakes are rivers, some rivers are mountains, some rivers are mountains, but we could have the mountains here also. So this is mountain, okay. Some mountains are books, so we can have the books here, or we can have the books here, because we know some mountains are books, some books are papers, some books are papers, and we can have papers here or here. Okay, now let's see what our conclusion says. Some books are rivers. Okay, so here we have some books are rivers, but here with books are, we can see that books are not rivers, so this does not follow. So as I told you, if even in one case we can see that the conclusion is not following, we'll cross it out. Some papers are lakes, some papers are lakes. Okay, no, it doesn't follow. uh, some mountains are lakes, some mountains are lakes. इधर हो रहा है, इधर नहीं हो रहा है. So again we'll cross it out. So yeah, the answer is none follows because none of the given conclusion is valid. I hope it wasn't tough. Okay, so coming to question 3. Another interesting question. Some tigers are horses, all horses are goats, all goats are dogs, some dogs are cats. Okay. Some tigers are horses, all horses are goats, all goats are dogs, and some dogs are cats. Okay, we've drawn the extreme cases. Okay, let's read the conclusions and see which of these conclusions will follow. Some cats are tigers, so no. Cats is here, tigers are here, they are not colliding. Some dogs are horses, some dogs are horses again. We can see they are poles. Some dogs are horses. Okay, so so we see that this portion of dogs is horses. Okay, so we'll say that conclusion conclusion 2 follows. Some goats are cats, some goats are cats. No, they're not colliding, they are poles apart. See, cats is here, goats are here, so this does not follow. Some cats are horses, some cats are horses. Again, we'll see that we had horses here and cats is here. They're not colliding, so even this does not follow. So we've seen only conclusion 2, that is some dogs are horses, follows in this case. That is the right conclusion. Let's take up one more question. Okay, all notebooks are pens, no pen is a table, some tables are desks, all desks are tanks. Okay, so let's start. All notebooks are pens, no pen is a table, so table आ गई हमारी अलग से, जैसे I told you. Some tables are desks. अच्छा, this was tables. Some tables are desks, so desks could be here, and all desks are tanks, so tank आ गया हमारा यहाँ पे. Okay, take up the conclusions. Some tanks are pens, some tanks are pens. ठीक है. अच्छा, there was a possibility that I could have drawn. The statement said some tables are desks, so I could have taken desks. I could have taken desks here also. ठीक है. And then all desks are tanks, so I could have taken tanks here. ठीक है. So now let's see. Some tanks are pens, some tanks are pens here, but here no tanks are pens, so this does not follow. इस केस में तो था, बट इस केस में नहीं था tanks pens, तो यहाँ पे हम पहला conclusion strike out कर देंगे. Some desks are notebooks, some desks are notebook. अच्छा, okay, so no, they are not follow because desks are here, notebooks are here. We'll strike them out. Some tanks are tables, some tanks are tables. Okay, here also and here also in both the cases we can see some tanks are tables. So ठीक है, see, we can see here is the connection. ठीक है, some tanks are not desks, some tanks are not desks. Okay, so there was a possibility I had taken, when we say all desks are tanks, I would have taken desks slash tanks. We read it while I was telling you basic concepts of syllogism, so yes, we did it then. So we could have taken it like this, or desks are tanks. So some tanks are not desks. This again will strike out. Okay. I'm coming to question 5. Okay, all arrows are bows, some swords are daggers, all daggers are knife, all arrows are bows, some swords are daggers. Okay, so this is altogether a different set that will create. Some swords are daggers, all daggers are knives. कुछ नहीं बताया वो दोनों उसमें क्या swords, daggers, knives का bows, arrows के साथ क्या connection है. So we've taken it like that. Some swords are daggers. Okay. ठीक है. Now all knives are bows. All knives are bows. No, they are poles apart. They are in two different sets. Some swords are knives. Some swords are knives. Okay, yeah, this is following. ठीक है. Some swords you can see they are knives. All bows are arrows. All bows are not arrows because this remaining portion of bows are not arrows. Okay, this doesn't follow. All arrows are swords. Again, we see there is no connection between the two. So, only conclusion 2 follows. I'll take up one last question, and I'm hoping that this would have cleared some of your doubts on syllogisms. Okay, so some pianos are violins, some violins are drums, all drums are guitars. No guitar is a flute. Oh, so yeah, some pianos are violins, some violins are drums, all drums are guitars. No guitar is a flute, so flute can be here or here. Okay, just we know that guitars are not flutes. Okay, so let's take up the given conclusions. Some guitars are pianos, some guitars are pianos. We see pianos are here, guitars are here, so no. Conclusion 1 doesn't follow. Some drums are flute. Some drum. Okay, so it's clearly written, no guitar is a flute, and when drum is a subset of guitar, so definitely no drum will also be a flute. So we'll strike it out. We can never, flutes and drums can never collide, can never connect. So some pianos are drums. Some pianos are drums. Some pianos are drums. No, there is no possibility. We have pianos here, drums are here. No flute is a drum. This was a certainty because we were told no guitar is a drum. No guitar is a flute, so no flute is a drum will by default follow. So we are here. Conclusion 4 alone is valid. So thank you. I hope I was able to clear your doubts, various doubts on the syllogism. Thank you.